As we head into the new year and with big conferences coming up like CES 2022, there are many rumors and leaks circulating online alluding to new upcoming GPUs from both AMD and Nvidia. But I feel like most of these new GPUs won't excite a lot of people. Let's discuss that in this video. Hey, if you enjoy content like this, drop a like, make sure to subscribe, and smash that bell so you never miss another video. Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, welcome back to the channel and I hope you've all been doing well. These past few months, things have become a bit quiet in the GPU market. The last major release we had was from AMD, who had announced the Radeon RX 6600, but it was a very underwhelming product as it hardly improved performance over the previous generation and would cost you the same price but 2 years later. Essentially, when it was announced, reviewers did their obligatory reviews for the product, and well, that was it. You hardly saw many people talking about it because it just wasn't even worth mentioning. And really the only reason why it's selling is because people are desperate. And this is the recurring theme when it comes to the GPU market. Underwhelming products, but this has become the new norm for the GPU market. I feel like we're going to have to give up any hope that we had for the GPU market returning to normal, what it was pre-COVID, and accept that now everything has just become inflated in terms of pricing, regardless of the performance tier. With that said though, we are still seeing rumors and leaks spreading around the internet that show us that Nvidia will be releasing some new GPUs in the near future to target lower end segments. First off, and this is something that we've been hearing for quite some time now, but it looks like it's going to be officially happening, is that Nvidia will be releasing the RTX 2060, or rather re-releasing it. The reason why this is pretty much confirmed at this point is because we have seen places like video cards show leaked AIB models in their packaging. Now, Nvidia hasn't really been upfront about why they're re-releasing the RTX 2060, but most are proposing it's because Nvidia is trying to quell the scarcity of graphics cards. If they can leverage an older manufacturing process, this being TSMC's 12 nanometers, to resupply the market with GPUs and give gamers more options to buy their time until this shortage ends, then hey, that might be beneficial for everybody. What makes this re-release a bit interesting is that this RTX 2060 will have 2176 CUDA cores, which is a bit more when compared to the original 2060, as that GPU only had 1920 CUDA cores. This is basically the same amount as the RTX 2060 Super, although this GPU does have a slimmer memory bus. With the bump in memory, this was also seen as a bit controversial, as many people had suggested that Nvidia saying that this card is helping gamers is just a ploy, and it's really to appeal to miners actually. As you might know, a lot of various mining algorithms benefit from GPUs that have larger memory buffers. The more memory you have, the higher your hash rate will be. But wait, what about LHR? Well, unfortunately, LHR really isn't a deterring factor as much as it used to be. People have found a way to bypass it and attain around 80% of the performance that you'd usually get from a non-LHR card. So you can bet your Steam wallet funds that miners will be going after these cards, which then kind of defeats the whole purpose of re-releasing it in the first place, but maybe not really, because maybe this was Nvidia's goal after all. Performance-wise, there's not much that needs to be said here. I mean, you can go ahead and take a look at 2060 Super benchmarks if you want to know how this card will perform, and you'll have a pretty good idea where it should stack up. Taking that into account though, 2060 Super levels of performance is still pretty good. That should still allow you to play most modern AAA games with high ultra settings at 1080p and get a high frame rate, and even do some 1440p gaming. 4K gaming is kind of out of the question unless you're going to be running lower end games like CSGO or League of Legends, then that's a different story. In terms of pricing, there hasn't been anything that's been announced yet, and that's still all up in the air at this point. I believe Nvidia's spokesperson also told The Verge that it's going to be a bit more premium than the original 2060 cost, but that 2060 originally was brought down to $299 USD, and that was before all the shortages happened. The official MSRP of the RTX 3060 is $329, so it'd be a bit weird for Nvidia to release this GPU with a higher MSRP, considering it won't be faster. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see. Next, we've got another GPU from Nvidia. This is going to be the RTX 3050, Ampere's entry-level or quote-unquote entry-level GPU. The GPU for the masses, which no doubt won't have a mainstream price tag. According to hardware leaker Hongxing 2020 on Twitter, this GPU will supposedly be announced on the 4th of January next year, so CES 2022, and will hit store shelves on the 27th. In terms of specs, it's rumored that this GPU will be based on the GA106 die, featuring 3072 CUDA cores, 8GB of GDDR6 memory, with a 128-bit bus. What's going to be hilarious is when Nvidia announces this card for the mainstream and entry-level gamers, but with a price tag that will be upwards of or around $250 US. Like, how would you be able to stand there with a straight face and accomplish that? It'll be interesting to see. I'm honestly looking forward to it for comical purposes at this point. Performance-wise, it's probably going to be a bit faster than a 1660 Super, which for 1080p would be decent. If by some chance they had announced this card at $199, all things considered, that'd be a pretty good GPU, one I'd actually be excited for, but with the way everything's going right now, I honestly doubt something like that will even happen. Moving on to AMD, and it looks like they're also going to be bringing a GPU of their own to the entry-level market with the RX 6500 XT. That will be announced at around the same time as the 3050 in January 2022. According to video cards, this GPU will be based on Navi 24, support 16 compute units, and 1024 stream processors, and come with just 4GB of memory. I would have really liked to have seen this GPU with at least 8GB of VRAM. I mean, it's almost 2022 and we're still dealing with GPUs that have less than 8GB of VRAM. Even if this is an entry-level GPU. After all, it's not like they're going to be charging entry-level prices for it anyway. I presume this GPU should provide performance that's equivalent to the GTX 1660, maybe the 1660 Super, but probably for the same price as one, which shows we've just made no progress. This is why it's so hard to get excited for these new GPUs. I mean, on one hand, people are happy that we're finally going to be getting GPUs less than $300. On the other hand, you could have bought GPUs for less than $300 that would have given you the same level of performance 2 to 3 years ago. It makes you wonder if this is the type of pricing that we will have to deal with moving forward, and forget about the days of getting a gaming GPU for less than $200 that provided meaningful performance improvements over the previous generation. At this point, I'm seriously rooting for Intel to come in and take the market by storm by actually giving gamers what they want. Real entry-level gaming GPUs for an appropriate price. If you guys found this video to be informative and entertaining, then leave a like. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Be sure to check out the video description for cool links and ways to support the channel, such as using my Amazon affiliate link. And if you're interested in seeing more content like this, then consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.